This is my first video, so you'll just have to bear with me as I kind of learn my way through this thing. What you see ahead of you here is what we'll be using for this project. I've got my thumb guard, my carving glove. I never work without both of those, believe me. I've learned the hard way, and ever since I've started working and using these things, I haven't cut myself. I've got a 2-inch thick piece of basswood over here. This is just a piece of scrap, but it's going to be big enough for what we're going to use it for. I've got my old reliable here, my favorite tool. Back behind here is an old Stanley version of that. It's a Stanley 299. They don't make it anymore. I don't know why, but they don't. Anyway, if you can find these in flea markets. If you see one, I'd grab it because I like them better than this one here. But I like this one here too. This is a newer version, import model. It'll work just as good. Whatever you do, don't buy one of these that has a retractable blade. That mechanism just isn't safe. You want something that locks that blade in there permanently to where it doesn't move. And these are the only handles that do that. Next to old reliable here, I have a Lee Ferguson knife that I've worn down. That blade used to be about that long, but over the years it's just been resharpened and worn down. As you can see, I've also sanded off this bump right here. I always get rid of that because it just interferes when I'm carving. Next, you'll see a bunch of patterns. I carve in all different sizes, so I use all different size patterns. For our experiment, we're going to be using this one here. Down below here, you'll see some heads that I've carved. This is actually the head we're going to carve right here, because I'm making this video after I've already carved it and shown you guys how to carve it. Let me just pick him up here a minute. Whoop. Since I broke my arm, I can't hold on to things very well. Anyway, here he is. He's carved, like I say, out of that 2-inch thick piece of basswood. Got these thumbtacks here to hold these heads at a better angle so you can see them. All these heads are carved out of a 2-inch thick piece of basswood. This fella down here on the end, I haven't finished him yet. You can see I've got the eyes outlined. But he's finished other than that. This fella here, he's going to make a real good figure. I have to find the perfect spot for him. He's been around a while. Anyway, the first thing we're going to do is we take our pattern and we lay it on the piece of basswood, like that. Naturally, you want the grain running up and down, so you just draw that on there. This is a generic pattern. I leave the front of the face flat, that way I can use it for faces with no facial hair, or I can use it with faces with facial hair. That way you don't have to have a whole bunch of patterns laying around your shop. So after we get our drawing drawn on our blank, like I say, this is 2-inch stock, we just take it over to the bandsaw and cut it out. This will probably be pretty noisy, but I just wanted you to see how I do everything. I use a 3/16 inch skip tooth blade. That's the only blade I ever use for just about everything I do in this shop. It's just a good blade, cuts fast, does tight corners. It's just the best all-around blade. I've tried all the others from 1/8 inch up to 1/4, and none of them compare to this one here. So here we go. Like I say, it might be a little loud. right through that wood. And turns real tight corners. Now that we've got our blank cut out, let me show you exactly what I'm going to do to get the blank ready to carve, the first step that I do. Looking at the top of this blank, basically what we've got now is a 2-inch square, looking at it from the top. Okay? Here's our nose. So what I'm going to do in the beginning is I'm going to carve this off into a sort of a triangular shape, just like that. So looking at it from here, here's the front of our nose, right there. So I'm going to take off, kind of rough because I'm stretching around the tripod. Anyway, I'm going to take that off. And that'll give me a starting point for carving my head, okay? I drew this to a point. Actually, you'd want to come down to where you've got a little area open right there. But basically, that's what we're going to do. It doesn't have to be a perfect triangle. Like I say, it's best if it's sort of arced like that. All right? Because our ears are going to go here, our nose, and we'll do that in the next video.